Testing. Let's just open it up. Anybody questions?
I guess just to get right to it, do you want to run back the main event?
That's something I'll talk to my guys. I'm not sure. I mean, it was, a little bit uneventful, but, these things happen sometimes in this sport because of the open finger gloves. But whether we would run it back, that a lot depends on Ryan and his next step as far as fighting in the 205 or staying as a heavyweight.
So Ryan did say a few minutes ago that he's done pretty much everything that you guys have asked of him. If he wanted to defend his light heavyweight belt at this point, would you think maybe kind of go with the direction he wants to go?
Yeah, I mean, we have some good fights for him in light heavyweight as well. And I think there's some unfinished business. I'm sure he'd like to fight Machida again. And there's a Gegard. And, we have a couple of fighters that are coming to my mind. And also the Ryzen champ. He expressed interest in fighting the Ryzen champ at some point. So, if we work the deal out with Japan, maybe we could have him go to Japan and represent Bellator. So, but it's still up in the air.
After the main event, when we see Rampage try to get in there and go after your champ, what are your thoughts on that whole incident?
I mean, it's I didn't even realize he was in the cage, and then all of a sudden I hear the ruckus, and by the time I got to this, into the cage, it was already died down. But it's an emotional time. I mean, that's his training mate, and people get very close when they start training together from the same gym. And I think that that's what you saw. You saw a guy that had a lot of passion in defending his teammate. And, but died down pretty quickly.
Is he still under contract?
Rampage?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there's no ramifications for acting out? I mean, that's just, you guys just let it go? Or?
I mean, we'll go back and review the tape, but I actually was a little bit surprised. I had to do a double take because, who's up there barking? And I go, oh my God, it's Rampage Jackson. I better get up there. So, it happened, and, we'll take a look at it, so. But hey, listen, no one was flying out of the cage, attacking other people, and not throwing darts. I'm just saying.
So speaking of that, do you think that the kind of a deal that you think you could strike with Japan for Bader to go over to defend, do you think a deal like that could ever be struck with the UFC somewhere? I'm
not sure. I mean, listen, right now it's been a closed door policy for many years. I mean, since the inception of the company in '93. But who knows how things change in the future,
Mm-hmm. He just showed all of us. What did you see?
I heard more than I saw, and I think that without the commentary, it might have been a little bit more interesting. But I'd have to go watch it again and really look to see what happened. Because honestly, from my point of view, I couldn't see exactly if it was a clear eye poke or he poked him in the nose or I just but his eye looked a little bit swollen and it's unfortunate, but I mean, like I said, these things happen sometimes.
Can we get your thoughts on the first round of the Featherweight Grand Prix? What do you think of the fights, and are there any fights that really stood out to you?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, to me, I think, these guys had a lot on the line, and they brought it, and Bork's fight to me was very, very skillful, and I really had a good time watching him fight. He's very entertaining, and and then in 3 weeks we have the fight in Los Angeles. And then we have the drawing show, which is going to really put together the 8 fighters, the brackets, what months they'll fight, who will be on which side of the bracket. And that'll be in LA on the night of the fight. So we're going to run 4 fights. And then we'll have the drawing show. And then we'll end with the Gegard Mousasi fighting Machida fight. So it's going to be a great night of, fights. And the tournament will continue. And after LA, we'll have our 8 finalists or 8 entries into the tournament.
So how is the drawing thing going to work exactly?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just draw and then you fight random luck?
I had an idea, and but my guys had another idea, and so I'm going to let them run with it, and it's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be very much like a show, like you would watch almost like a game show. It reminds me of a little bit. So every fighter will be able to come up and sit down and take a seat with his coach behind him, so the coach can give them advice as to if this person picks here, then he could go here, he could go there, when they want to fight, and so there's going to be a lot of similarity to what we used to do with K1 in Japan. But there's going to be some twists to the story, and I'm excited to announce that, which we'll probably do in a couple weeks.
So I think I've seen in Japan at some point a deal where you've got 8 guys, but somebody gets picked and then he like stands there and then the other guy stands next to him.
Yeah, so the premise is like this. So you have 8 fighters left, and everybody goes, and in Japan they used to reach in, pick a ball, everybody had a number. Well, number 1, please come up. And then against the wall, you'd have 8 slots. So if Josh Gross picked number 1, he could go to slot 1, 2, 3, 4. He has the first pick. It doesn't mean he has to be number 1, but he could pick 1 through 8. So let's say he says, okay, I got banged up tonight. I want to go fight in slot 8, which means he'll probably fight in March of 2020. And then Dave, you have number 2. So we asked number 2, please come up. Well, you could go and you could say, I want to fight Josh and take slot 7. You could go pick any other slot and then same thing. If I pick number 3, I could go fight Josh. I could come fight you, or So it's going to be really there's going to be strategy to this, as long as you're not the last person, because then you just have to go where the empty slot is at that point. But you'd be surprised. I mean, it was entertaining, and I think that it's random in the sense that you don't know what number you're going to get, and then where you go, somebody might stand next to you that you don't want to fight, but they want to fight you, and that's the luck of the draw.
Scott, you're a Bay Area guy, you're a South Bay guy, you're a Warriors fan just like you do, like us. Any thoughts of going to San Francisco? Obviously, you have the new Chase Center opening up, you have Cow Palace, you have Civic Center. Any thoughts of Bellator going to San Francisco?
Yeah, but we're here at the SAP, and this has been the home of Strikeforce and Bellator, and we've had that conversation, but you definitely can't talk about that while you're in the SAP Center, can you? So.
As far as locations for the guys who won tonight in the featherweight tournament, could you see maybe a Borax headline card in Hungary, or maybe have Cavado headline in either Portugal or Ireland or something? Is that something you guys are thinking about?
Well, the tournament will be in North America, and
has to be.
it will be in North America.
Okay.
It's a DAZN exclusive on, and the first tournament fight will happen. And what I mean by that is after the 8 finalists are picked, they go in, they pick their numbers, they go. But the very first date of the tournament, actual beginning, will be in Hawaii in mid-December. So that will be the very first fight. And then we'll probably do Los Angeles in January, but it'll be December, January, February, March. And so, then we'll have a little bit of a break, and then let the fighters rest, and then we'll go, maybe June, and then September will be the finals. Okay, thank you guys.